I'm so much looking forward to sharing with you my experiences with this plant. So, so this is Rosemary Gladstar, and she says the rich red oil is simply one of the best remedies for trauma to the skin. It is applied topically to soothe and heal bruises, sprains, burns, and injuries of all kinds. I mean, that's incredible, right? It's just, oh, I love that. So it's not only relieves pain, but also promotes tissue repair and speeds recovery. So Rosemary Gladstar, I think, is one of the most influential herbalists of our time. I first took classes with her in the mid-1980s, a long time ago. Seems like yesterday though, and that time, that being there with her, it completely changed my life. When I first started taking her classes, I didn't even really understand what was going on. I'll just tell you, I was like, what's happening? What is this? I had no context for it. I didn't even really understand what was going on. I could just feel something inside me just welling up. It was amazing. And whatever it was, I wanted it. And I graduated from college, and the next weekend started taking herb classes, and I never looked back. And something inside me was literally awakened. So I have a lot of St. John's Wort stories for you. So grab yourself a cup of tea, make yourself some popcorn, and sit back and enjoy. This plant is one of my first loves. So I have lots of stories. So St. John's Wort. It's for relief of all kinds. So let me just start rattling: sunburns, bruises, herpes, muscle pain, sore muscles, tight muscles, strained muscles, stiff muscles, muscle aches, muscle tension. How many ways can you describe your muscle pain? Low back pain, neck aches, back aches, neck aches. Okay, minor wounds, skin irritations, rashes, scrapes. It goes on, right? Dioscorides, who was born in Turkey, he wrote his Materia Medica in Greek, and he was a Roman medic, and his Materia Medica was written in 50 AD, and it was very widely read up until about the 1600s. It was translated into Arabic, German, Spanish. I mean, it was very popular, very widely used, and he said that St. John's Wort oil was for sciatica and burns. So, the thing is that we know what he said because he wrote a book. But I just, for every book that was written, there were thousands of midwives and housewives and village healers that we don't have their words. Their healing was a home tradition. It was an oral tradition that was passed down in their family, right? So I always like to think of that. So the German E Commission, St. John's Wort oil is for the treatment of post-therapy of acute and contused injuries, myalgia, and first-degree burns. So we have a lot of information of it being used for burns. And I just have to tell you, I have way too many burn stories. I can't tell them all. But I'm going to pause here and tell you a couple because really I have some amazing stories. But the thing is, if you get burnt, if you burn yourself, if you need to, take care of it, go get it checked out if it's more severe than first degree. But you don't want to put oil right away. You want to use tepid or slightly cool water. Wash it off. Make sure everything is clean and you let it cool down, right? The oil itself can be a little, you don't want to put it on right afterwards. So, and if anything ever gets uncomfortable, stop. If you need help, get help, right? This is, first, do no harm, but this oil, oh my gosh. So I have this wonderful experience of my husband, Michael, who he's kind of into the herbs, but he's not really into them. He likes the benefits, but he doesn't pay much attention. So one time, these electric burners, sometimes they can like pop up. Well, I had turned the stove on high. I had turned around to wash something off in the sink, and he came in and he was like, "Oh, I need to pop the stove back down for her." Well, it hadn't turned red yet, and it was hot. It was really hot, and he took his 210 pounds and pushed on that electric burner, and the next thing I knew, he was hopping around the kitchen like a bunny rabbit. I'm not kidding. And he's a pretty stable guy, And he went into kind of a shock, and it was a minor burn, but it was it was intense. And so I sat him down. First we rinsed it off with tepid water under the sink. And then I stuck his hand in St. John's wort oil, and he just kind of sat there. We left his hand in there, and he kind of fell asleep a little bit and relaxed. And then, I just changed that oil. I changed the oil, so then I got some fresh oil an hour later, and I just kept doing that basically for the rest of the day. That burn took him out for the day. It was just exhausting to him. It was shocking to him. It just shocked him. So he really did. He rested for the next day. And literally the next day, he rested for that whole day, and the next day, there was nothing there. I'm not kidding you, nothing there. I should have him come and tell the story. He tells this story like all the time. That was going to be a huge blister, and he just skipped that. It was like it didn't happen. So that's his, and so he said to me, he goes, "Wow, that really worked, didn't it? That was a really bad burn, wasn't it?" I was like, "Yeah, it was." It's like, did that really happen? Why isn't there anything there? That's what it is. And so so I have a lot of other burn stories. I have a student that burnt the heck out of her leg on a motorcycle pipe. Wear pants when you're riding a motorcycle, but she talks about how she, cleaned it out, cooled it off, and then just applied that oil for several days, and there was nothing, not a trace, right? I burnt my hands really bad on a sauna one time. I came home, used my St. John's wort oil. There's nothing there. No, it never even blistered. It should have blistered. Also, I'm the fire tender in my house. I have many years living in houses that the only source of heat is fire. So I'm the fire tender. I'm just really good at staying tuned into the fire. So, we build fire for about 6 months out of the year. It's a chore. And I'm pretty good. I don't usually burn myself, but usually once a year, once a season, I'm like, at the end, I'm just so sick of it, I get a little sloppy. And I burn myself. St. John's wort to the rescue every single time. And, I always let it cool. I cool it off, rinse it under tepid water, and then that's it. So there you have it. I could tell you more burn stories, but I think you got the idea. Also, I have an acquaintance that I know through my classes, and she actually got a 3rd degree, like severe burn, where she was in the hospital for quite some time. So after she, got out of the hospital and her skin was healing and she was, totally getting better, she used St. John's wort constantly. And she should be really scarred, and she's not. She has very, very little scarring. So the other thing is St. John's wort. I could tell, it's good for sunburns. If once you get home and you feel like you're burned, you get in the shower, wash off the heat, cool down, and then you apply. I've seen people and myself, I'm so fair. So if I feel like I've gotten burned, I cool down, I use water, and then I St. John's wort oil it up. Yeah. The other thing about burning in St. John's wort oil is I have seen many, many women have success not burning from radiation treatments, right? And I know a woman who not before the radiation treatment, but after, she came home and she applied St. John's wort oil to the area that she thought was being radiated, but it turned out that area plus another area was being radiated, and so there was a whole area that was being radiated that she didn't apply with oil, and it was incredible. She showed it to me. Where the St. John's wort oil was, there was nothing. And where the other area, it was red, irritated, and getting burnt. So I have many women who I know of that have used St. John's wort oil, that you use it after in between treatments, after your radiation. So, it's kind of a situation where you want your MD, but you also want a naturopath on your team. You always want to have a naturopath. You can go to www.naturopathic.org and find a naturopath in your area so you can have both kinds of input. Because, if you're going through something like that, it's not the time to be, testing out new herbal remedies. Get someone on your team that can help you with that. But it's incredible what I have seen with that. And so if you know somebody that needs that, that can be so amazing, such a powerful, powerful home remedy for them, right? So the other thing, the other relief that you can get with St. John's wort is for itching, right? So St. John's wort, I've used it for itchy skin, for red skin, and I've seen it help so many people for red itching skin, irritable skin. It helps calm the inflammation, the burning redness. And again, it doesn't solve the root cause of the red skin. So I know a lot of people that have had really amazing success for healing the skin, the dry stages of psoriasis, eczema, acne. Once the skin is inflamed and damaged and red, St. John's wort, it has a traditional use for burning, itching skin. It does not solve the root cause. You want to get to the root cause of why you have that anyway, but once the skin is damaged, you want to massage it into the dry, inflamed, irritated skin. It helps to cool the itching from eczema, insect bites, right? And the skin actually feels cooler with St. John's wort on it. This plant is great. Oh, it's so beautiful. The gold, the red. So I worked as a massage therapist for many years at a chiropractic office, and it was, I've heard, so St. John's wort is called the whiplash herb. And so in this chiropractic office, he took insurance, so I saw a lot of people with whiplash, and people would come in because it was like, oh, she's got that oil. Can you please use that oil with me? And it did. I saw people asked for it over and over, and I saw it really helping people reduce their acute pain, reducing their chronic pain. And again, it's not the only thing you should do, but it helps. It helps reduce the pain and the inflammation. And so I have a story where I used St. John's wort a lot. And I was in a very, very bad car wreck many, many years ago. I was hit by a car. They hit the side of my car, and it hit through my truck was knocked into oncoming traffic. Just so happened that the oncoming traffic was a Mack truck. Okay, so it was one of those situations when you saw my truck, it was like, it was told. You were just like, wow, hope that person was okay. I was injured for sure. I survived, but it damaged my thyroid. I had many contusions. It took me many years to actually fully heal. And the thing that was really injured were my wrists. Because I was holding the steering wheel, my wrists were like torn. And I could not use my wrists, my hands, for 2 months. That was not easy. So, then my nerves were damaged. I had a lot of pain, numbness, tingling. And it was an accident, it happened in the fall. So it just so happens that I had several gallons of freshly made St. John's wort oil, and I had the chance to really test it out. So this was a severe accident. I was lucky to survive, and I feel like it would have taken me so much longer to heal my hands and arms. And the St. John's wort helped with the pain, the tingling, and it was just, it was one of those things. It was my ally during this time, and it took a long time, but I could feel the St. John's wort helping with the pain and the tingling and the numbness, right? And so this is one of the reasons why it's really good to make the oils yourself, because if you do have a big injury, you need a lot. I used all my St. John's wort that I made that summer, right? I used it all. And if I wouldn't have been able to do that, I wouldn't have been able to use it like that and really help it for my healing if I wouldn't have made it myself, right? So it's good for muscle pain, nerve pain, muscle aches, pains, strains, and it really, really helped me. So when you think about St. John's wort, one of the things that you will hear and see is that it's for nerve pain, right? So the thing that's specific about St. John's wort is it has an affinity for the nerves, nerve pain, nerve damage, sharp shooting pain, where the nerves are like carpal tunnel, like pinched nerves, numbness, tingling, and it helps. I have seen it and I have experienced it resolving nerve injury pain. So again, I hope you don't need that, but there's there's lots of oils that are good for burns and sprains and strains. But if the nerves are involved, if there's that numbness, that tingling, that shooting pain, then you want to think of St. John's wort. And that is what for centuries it has been used for. So again, there's many oils that are anti-inflammatory that heal the skin, but the differentiation with St. John's wort is how it helps with the nerves, okay? And especially so when you think of the nerves, you think of things like sciatica. And so people that have that, it starts at the top of the the top of the butt and goes down that nerve. So sciatica, shingles, you just put that St. John's wort oil on 4 or 5 times a day. And it won't last as long and it won't hurt as bad. I've seen that. It's traditionally used for that. We call it arnica for the nerves. Arnica of the nerves. So arnica is great for, really contusions and bumps and bruises where the skin's not broken. But St. John's wort you can use it when the skin is broken. The St. John's wort oil, you can use it when the skin is broken and also when the nerves are involved. That's a lot, right? It's a lot. I'm going to keep going. It just this plant, the uses of this plant just goes on and on. Okay, so the other thing, it's got a lot of great prevention uses. It's just, it is the massage therapist's dream, right? I don't know how many, when I practiced massage solid for 20 years, and I don't know how many gallons of St. John's wort I went through. And, when I was practicing, one of the biggest things that I saw so many certain massage therapists stop being able to work because their hands just gave out. I did lots of massages, how I paid for my herbal education. It was my main source of income for many years. I never, ever had an issue with my hands. I could feel the oil healing me right along with my clients. And I have so many students that are massage therapists. You don't have to be a massage therapist to use it, but if you do healing work, hands-on healing work, massage work, you want to get this oil activated in your practice. I have so many massage therapists that talk about how this oil basically does some of the work for them. They don't have to work as hard. I have heard, I can't even tell you how many of my students say that they feel like they have a helper and an ally there with them with the oil, right? So this is a great oil for massage therapists, and I would love to see this more in practice. And so one of the things you can do, what I would do is I had different oils, and I would have my clients smell it, and they would be like, oh, I love that, or they'd be like, eh. They could care less. If they go, well, that's their body talking. Their senses are tuning into what's right for them. So you have them smell it and you see how their body responds, right? And if the response is like, oh yeah, whoa, I love that, then you're like, okay, yeah, that's the right oil. The other place where I feel like it's underused is with people that do yoga. You can apply this oil before doing yoga, after doing yoga, for anointing and ceremonies, and it's just, yeah, I think that it could really be used a lot more in the yoga community to just help with those just overdoing it or just keeping everything nice and oiled and keeping the inflammation down. So yeah, it's another place where yeah, just like massage, I would like to see it more. So St. John's wort's got many, many actions. It's analgesic. It's, so it helps to reduce pain. It's antibacterial, antiviral, anti-inflammatory. It's antispasmodic for muscle spasms. And it's also vulnerary, right? It heals the skin. It heals the skin. So here's a little guy there. Look how little he is. Oh my goodness. And I don't know if I've told you the story of how I've seen him pack oil. So he's a backpacker, he's a hiker, and he packs his St. John's wort oil when he goes on a trip. And there was a period, he's not having growing pains now, but there was a period when he had growing pains, and he would take that oil with him whenever he went. And he would wake up in the night screaming with in really bad growing pains, and he would be like, oh, Mom, I need the St. John's wort. He would like scream for St. John's wort oil. And I kid you not. It's just, so it's amazing when you have an 8-year-old saying, I need that St. John's wort. So there you have it. There you have St. John's wort. And you know what? Lots of relief, restore. Yeah, lots of ways to relief, regenerate, restore. But I can't wait to hear how you use your St. John's wort oil.